CTV Edmonton, local breaking news with Miriam Valdez-Carlin.
Our forest outside of Whitecourt is probably very old, and right now it's just a little tinderbox because all that old grass is still there.
One house is lost and more than 100 people are waiting for wildfire danger to pass so they can return to their homes. Conditions are challenging for crews working to keep the fire away from nearby Whitecourt. Good evening. Alberta Wildfire says wind is a major factor to fight the flames. It says containment lines have now been established around the perimeter to prevent it from growing bigger. CTV's Connor Hogg has more on the still stressful situation for people who live nearby.
It was quick. Some people only had 10 minutes to get out. Some people had half an hour.
Tammy Rivard owns a shop in Whitecourt. She says the last 24 hours have been crazy. Her mother lives in the evacuation zone about 3 kilometers outside of town. She organized a group to help her mother leave.
Get her most important vehicles out and just her personal belongings like photos and some certain photos off the wall. And that's really all that she took.
Rivard is spending Tuesday trying to keep busy stocking shelves, thinking about the land that is burning and how close it is to her home.
Our forest outside of Whitecourt is probably very old, and right now it's just a little tinderbox because all that old grass is still there. If the fire does shift directions, I mean, I don't know how much time we'll have.
Smoke in the air over the fire was visible in Whitecourt yesterday. Today, while the cloud is gone, officials say the fire is still burning out of control.
We have established a good chunk of perimeter around the fire. However, there's still lots of work that needs to be done, and air tankers will support as needed. However, the conditions today are a little bit better due to lower wind speeds compared to yesterday.
At 1 p.m., the fire was moving slightly west towards a full containment line protecting the town. Alberta Fire says things could always change, sympathizing with the situation the people of Whitecourt are in.
I think they feel a lot better now that they don't see a large column of smoke at the moment, but just be prepared that that could change at any moment.
We're just going to hope. They've brought in a lot of help, so we're just going to put everything in their hands, right?
Alberta Fire is encouraging evacuees to visit the Alan and Jean Millar Centre in Whitecourt, where they can check in and also receive vouchers. In Whitecourt, Connor Hogg, CTV News.
RCMP say a woman is dead after a house fire north of Edmonton. Police say the fire happened at a home in Clyde just before 9 o'clock last night. Westlock RCMP say the victim was a 42-year-old woman. They're still looking into how the fire started. An afternoon fire has badly damaged 2 homes in southeast Edmonton. The call about the fire came in around 1 o'clock. Fire crews were still putting out hot spots at the duplex in the Meadows neighborhood just before 3. Edmonton Fire Rescue says due to multiple calls at the same time, crews ran into some issues getting there. The fire seriously damaged the back of both units and a detached garage. The cause of the fire is unknown at this time. Police say a driver was taken to hospital after a Tesla collided with an LRT. Police say just before 1 o'clock this afternoon, a car was heading north on 66th Street. It turned right on a red light to enter the white mud. That's when an LRT also heading north hit the Tesla. Police say the driver was taken to hospital as a precaution. Paramedics checked the train passengers to make sure they were okay. The intersection of 66th Street and white mud is still closed for the investigation. It's day 2 of the trial for a woman accused in the death of an 11-year-old boy killed by her dogs. Court heard more stories about the dog's violent history, including an attack on another person and a small dog. CTV's Nicole Weisberg reports.
46-year-old Crystal McDonald is on trial facing a charge of criminal negligence causing death as the keeper of the dogs that killed 11-year-old Cash Grist. The attack happened 2 years ago, and court heard in the months prior there were others. A man whose ex-wife was friends with the accused said McDonald's 2 cane Corsos killed his 10-pound Pomeranian. He said his dog Roan slipped out of his makeshift enclosure while McDonald's dogs were visiting. Court heard the dogs were tied up and Roan excitedly ran towards them. Dale Hess testified one got on one side of him and then the other grabbed the other side of him, so it was a tug-of-war with the dog. Hess called the attack traumatizing, said Roan died and he was left with an $8,000 vet bill. One of McDonald's neighbors also testified and said his family couldn't use their backyard because the dogs were so loud and threatening. He said they would charge their shared fence and try to dig underneath it. He said he tried to talk to McDonald about it a few times, but she swore at him and told him to mind his business. He put up cameras in his yard to gather evidence of the dog's behavior. One of them captured an attack in McDonald's backyard. She wasn't home at the time. Raymond Grumbach testified he and 2 friends were waiting for her to arrive. One friend started playing with the dogs in the backyard when she fell. Court saw video showing both dogs quickly run over, then screams. "They're biting me," she yelled. Grumbach helped restrain one of the dogs and said the friend was driven to the hospital with several bite marks. The defense told the judge in his submissions he plans to argue these past incidents are not relevant to the one involving Cash Grist. That will happen after we hear from all of the Crown's witnesses. Reporting from the law courts, Nicole Weisberg, CTV News.
Police are trying to identify 5 men who were caught on camera robbing a jewelry store last month. Police say in late April, 4 people ran into a jewelry store on 83rd Street and 82nd Avenue. They screamed at a staff member and a customer to get down as they smashed their way into display cases and stole jewelry. Police say they were in and out in less than a minute. Another person waited outside in a black Hyundai Santa Fe and acted as the getaway driver. Investigators are trying to find that Santa Fe. It had a Saskatchewan license plate 187 NYN. Police are also looking for the customer who was inside the shop at the time. Anyone with information is asked to call police or Crime Stoppers. Strathcona County has voted to keep its firefighter paramedics. The decision comes after the province told Alberta municipalities they'd have to pay to keep using that integrated service. CTV's Evan Kenny has more on the council meeting and how it will affect the community.
It was an emotional council meeting for the hundreds of firefighters and Strathcona County community members in attendance.
I will never vote to decrease service levels in our community, even if it's caused and requested by the provincial government.
Council voted to keep the county's emergency medical services the same.
And that's why there's a lot of happiness in the room right now.
Council was forced to choose after the province announced changes to its ambulatory services. Municipalities have to decide whether or not to continue to provide service at emergency health services pricing and pick up the excess bill, or opt out, which would see those services either contracted out or run by EHS.
There was 47 jobs on the line, and you saw in council chambers, that's families, that's mortgages, that's our brothers and sisters that could have been affected. So yeah, it's emotional.
Strathcona County was one of 7 municipalities using an integrated fire ambulance service. Leduc and Spruce Grove have already voted to eliminate it.
Response times are going to go up in this transition. Moral injury and practitioners is going to go up in this transition, and community care is going to go down.
Alberta's Minister of Hospitals says EHS's new model would provide the same quality of services. Strathcona County says it has heard very few details on the plan, like how many paramedics would be employed or what the price cap would be.
They haven't said, you have X amount of millions of dollars to spend on EMS.
Oh, no.
It never should have come to council. It should have been funded adequately to begin with.
The decision will increase Strathcona County's budget next year by about $2.3 million. Evan Kenny, CTV News, Sherwood Park.
Some nurses say they're dealing with more patients experiencing a mental health crisis. So nurse practitioner students attending Norquest will soon be learning in a different way. As CTV's Curtis Goodrum shows us, students will be learning less in the lecture hall and more on the front line.
Hi, Jane. I'm Serena, and this is Joel. We're here to help take care of you today.
These students are getting hands-on training,
staring at me and talking about me,
with patients who struggle with their mental health.
I'm hearing the voices.
This simulation is part of Norquest College's plan to enhance that aspect of training.
When we're walking into patients' rooms, we kind of know what to expect. We're not like walking in and like, oh my gosh, like this person is like super irate.
Current and former students push the program to have a greater focus on mental health based on what they've experienced on the job.
It's just so much more intertwined with physical health than we might have believed in the past. There's just so many issues that are coming up now for especially the next generations, and just understanding mental health better.
Simulations like the one going on behind me will soon be added throughout the nurse practitioner course. Instructors say courses like this will be vital for students in the real world.
And I always like to tell them, you're going to see mental health. Nobody usually likes to be in those hospitals. You're sick, you're stressed, you're not feeling your best. So having these skills really ensures that our patients get the best care.
Instructors say experiences like this
Don't tell them anything.
will prepare students for the real world.
We're ensuring that when those students enter the workforce, they feel confident in the skills that they've learned.
The refreshed course will be available starting this fall. Curtis Goodrum, CTV News, Edmonton.
An Angus Reid survey shows Canadians are shifting their priorities when it comes to climate change and the economy. The survey says cost of living now tops public concerns. Support for pipeline development is growing across much of the country. 15% of Canadians now rank climate change as a top national issue, while cost of living, housing affordability, and economic growth now dominate the national conversation. 61% of Canadians now prioritize economic growth over environmental protection when it comes to energy policy.
The environment has changed so much on the economy, I think, in general, where Canadians are really concerned about cost of living. They're really concerned about their economic future, and especially in the face of what's coming from the United States. And now they're much more open to this idea of, let's build some pipelines, let's help grow the economy a lot more.
The poll shows the swing towards supporting pipelines is stronger in BC than the rest of the country. In 2012, a majority of people there opposed a pipeline to the West Coast. Today, 61% are in favor. There's a new way to take in 3 of Edmonton's biggest festivals with one special ticket. Explore Edmonton launching the Eat, Play, Laugh Pass. It includes 15 tickets to Taste of Edmonton, a 10-day pass to K-Days, and an afternoon show at the Great Outdoors Comedy Festival. The ticket is available to purchase until Tuesday, May 26th for $59 plus tax. Only 2,500 passes are available. The 3 festivals are all in July, starting with Taste of Edmonton on July 16th. A group of Alberta musicians want to show their support for a united Canada. The benefit concert for Canadian Unity is scheduled for July 22nd in Hawrelak Park. Local jazz legend PJ Perry is behind the idea. Alberta musicians like the McDades and the Porch Dogs are donating their time and talents. Perry says it's about growing gratitude for everything Alberta and Canada has to offer.
We don't want to get enmeshed in political arguments. We just want to have a good party. We want to put on the good music and let music speak for itself, and let the musicians show the rest of the country and Alberta that they care about the world that we live in.
All proceeds from the concert will go to Edmonton's Food Bank, the Bissell Centre, and Sanctuary of Peace. Tickets go on sale this Friday. Riverhawk fans will soon have a new way to get to Remax Field on game days. The ball team will offer a shuttle service between Churchill Square and Remax Field, supported by Edmonton Transit Service. The shuttle starts running an hour and 15 minutes before game time. All you need to do is climb aboard with your game ticket, which is valid for others' ETS service before, during, and after the game. The service will start running on May 29th for the home opener. Coming up next, a First Nation launching a lawsuit against the Alberta and Canadian government, and lack of cooperation from separatist leader behind the leaked voter list.
One of the best benefits of enforcement, of effective enforcement, is to send a message to other individuals who might contemplate doing something similar.
Good evening, folks. Nice warm day today. 22 degrees for a daytime high here in Edmonton. We'll see another warm one with highs in the 20s tomorrow. And then things go sideways. Gusty wind, some rain, parts of the province looking at snow as we close in on the long weekend. We'll take a closer look at all that in just a few minutes.
Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
Elections Alberta says the leader of the Centurion project is not cooperating with an investigation into the voters' list leak. The agency says David Parker has refused to obey orders to stop using the list, which could lead to serious consequences. CTV's Tim Brooke has more.
David Parker is in hot water with Elections Alberta. Not only did his separatist group, the Centurion Project, access and share the electors list, but now the agency says he's not obeying a cease and desist related to that data leak.
I'm sure that there's going to be, quite extensive involvement from investigative lawyers, general counsel, looking to see what sorts of measures they can undertake to gain compliance.
The list Parker has contains the names and addresses of close to 3 million residents. Elections Alberta says 23 people were provided it, and 545 others accessed it through the Centurion Project's online tool. Experts believe those who don't obey orders will likely face obstruction charges and potentially contempt of court penalties. That could involve fines, jail time, or both.
One of the best benefits of enforcement, of effective enforcement, is to send a message to other individuals who might contemplate doing something similar.
This isn't Parker's first run-in with Elections Alberta. Crown Debt Collection is already after him and his group Take Back Alberta over 11 unpaid fines, totaling almost $122,000. Just last month, Parker called the agency corrupt to the core, a den of evil, and a tool to suppress democracy. The Justice Minister isn't speaking to media. The one UCP MLA says her government trusts an ongoing RCMP investigation. It's unclear if Parker will comply with that.
We have said we will be looking forward to see what they bring forward so that we can get to the bottom of what happened there.
For now, Alberta's chief electoral officer believes the voter list should not be shared with any political parties until there are better privacy protections in place. The leak, just the latest thing on the agency's plate ahead of a busy autumn.
The volume of work is unprecedented. I used to drink from a garden hose, now I'm drinking from a fire hose.
David Parker has not responded to multiple requests for comment. In a statement 2 weeks ago, he had said he would cooperate with the investigation. Mikisew Cree First Nation is suing the federal and provincial government, saying decades of industrial development have infringed on treaty rights. The lawsuit alleges oil sands industrial development has harmed the environment and had serious health impacts on the community. The First Nation is located on the Peace Athabasca Delta, one of the world's largest inland freshwater deltas. It says the lawsuit isn't about targeting single projects. Instead, it's focusing on what it calls a lack of proper management over decades. The chief says the First Nation wants the federal and provincial governments to take accountability and bring in higher water quality standards.
Our treaty rights must be meaningful in practice and not just words on paper. Our people must still be able to hunt, fish, gather, and pass our culture and knowledge on to our children.
The province says it's committed to meaningful consultation on projects where treaty rights may be affected, and we take these matters seriously. It declined to offer specifics as the matter is before the courts. The federal government also says it's aware of the lawsuit and cannot comment further at this time. Alberta musician Corb Lund is taking his coal mining petition to the open trail. Lund will be on a 3-day horseback ride from the southern foothills to Edmonton, collecting signatures to stop coal mining in the Rockies. Lund will be joined by ranchers and musicians. With just under a month left to collect names, Lund told Your Morning Edmonton the petition is going well. He says his group is in a tough fight.
The coal companies are in a real PR blitz right now, trying to tell us how great it's going to be. And I've spent 6 years on this, and I've met with as many pro-coal people as anti-coal people, and I've put my brain on it, and it doesn't make any sense, in my opinion. And it's going to be bad for Albertans and bad for Alberta.
Lund says he also met with Premier Daniel Smith to make his case. After the break, how lamb mowing is clearing the way in many gardens.
So we bring joy everywhere we go. Our sheep are just really friendly, sweet animals that like to say hi to people.
Program Programming brought to you by Final Symphony with your Edmonton Symphony Orchestra. Learn more at winspearcenter.com.
Welcome back. 4 degrees above average today. We get to 22 for a daytime high. We'll get to about 23, maybe 24 tomorrow. And then temperatures drop good 10 to 15 degrees by the end of the week. And a cool long weekend on the way. 4 degrees in Cold Lake tomorrow morning. Should be about 13 here in Edmonton. Somewhere in the 7 or 8 degree range for Grand Prairie, Red Deer areas. You get back to about 20 in the Peace Country tomorrow with cloudy skies. Some increase in cloud through the day in the northeast. Nice temperatures though. 25 Fort McMurray, 27 Cold Lake, mid-20s for Lloydminster and Red Deer. Jasper, you get some rain starting later in the day. Could see some showers and thunderstorms in through the foothills as this area of low pressure develops over central Alberta. There's a chance out ahead of that system and then behind the system for some showers and isolated thunderstorms. You can see here in Edmonton, just cloudy with a few sunny breaks through the day. Tomorrow evening, you get a chance of some showers or some periods of rain. That'll continue through the first half of the day Thursday. And then I think most of the rain by Thursday night and into Friday is off to the east and north. But I mean, this comes awfully close, and it does look like it's going to change over to snow from Peace River down through Slave Lake and into parts of east central Alberta overnight Thursday into Friday morning. Still quite a bit of uncertainty with where exactly that precipitation will be for Friday and Saturday. So at this point, I've just put a 30% chance of some scattered precipitation in the forecast. I think most of the rain is going to be overnight tomorrow night and through the first half of the day Thursday. Thursday is going to be an awfully windy day as well. Not great news in the Whitecourt area with the fire situation. You're going to see the wind swing around to the northwest. Watch some of the gusts that come in later in the day tomorrow. Gusts will be strongest in this colored zone. So you notice how that moves into the Edmonton, Whitecourt, Red Deer area by late tomorrow night. Through the day Thursday, you have wind 40, gusting to about 60 or 70 kilometers per hour. Could see gusts 80 to 90 kilometers per hour further off to the south and east. We've got a special weather statement for areas east and southeast of the Edmonton area for Thursday. That may change over to some warnings here over the course of the next day or two. Enjoy tomorrow, though. Mostly cloudy, high of 23, then windy for Thursday, Friday, and a big cool down, 10 to 14 range for Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Little better Sunday, Monday as the sun comes back out and temperatures by Monday get back close to average. That is your forecast.
We're days away from the May-long weekend when many Edmontonians turn their attention to yard work. Down in Virginia, one company is offering a lawn service you may not have heard of. Julie Carey has more.
All right, come on out, cookies and cream. You can go out, Gabbers. There you go, Gabber. All right, one at a time.
It's a flock of sheep that can't wait to get to work. Their job, ridding this Woodbridge yard of weeds, including poison ivy.
So these are baby doll Southdown sheep. They're an heirloom breed that is really people-friendly and easy to control. So for a suburban environment, it's ideal. Water up!
In 2015, Shepherd Corey, as he's known, and his wife bought a farm in Fairfax County. Corey says a passion for the environment and regenerative agriculture led him to see what he could do with sheep. He says he discovered in his own pastures they were great at eating weeds. Lamb Mowers was born.
But they have really ventured out into the woods a little faster than I was expecting.
Corey says the company has evolved.
I started out with the idea of being a mowing service and kind of transitioned into being a weed and feed service where our sheep eat the weeds and fertilize the yard.
Shepherd Corey and Shepherd John start each job by fencing off the work zone, and they do some of the weeding themselves.
It was wonderful. It was 2 hours and they got more done than I could have in a week.
Oh, that's pretty awesome.
And they were fun to watch.
Indeed, lamb mowers often draw a crowd of neighbors. And it doesn't take long before the little lambs can gobble weeds along with the big ones. Corey knows them all by name.
So Sunday is the mother of Matcha and Boba, the littlest one.
Jobs last 2 hours because after that, the sheep need time to digest, to chew their cud. And when it's time to move to the next job, Corey's call and the rattle of the feed pan provide the signal.
Let's go, sheep! Bye, sheep!
Corey says while most customers hire lamb mowers for their weed-eating ability, others see this as just pure sheep therapy.
So we bring joy everywhere we go. Our sheep are just really friendly, sweet animals that like to say hi to people.
That's the best landscaping service I've ever seen. And that's our show for this evening. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have a good night.